What is going on, everybody? Welcome back finally to a brand new episode of your favorite sports podcast, Sports Extra Uncut. I'm Coby Clark, and alongside me, Joseph the Lawn Moore. Joe, we have a great podcast episode planned out for everyone listening and viewing us over on our Twitch today. Should be a lot of fun, just as always.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm excited, man. And, this is the day that I get to, indulge myself in basketball knowledge. The one thing that really got me into the sports realm, the NBA. And, we got an exciting deadline ahead, one of my favorite deadlines in sports. I'm normally not a fan of deadlines. I'm a procrastinator at heart.
Absolutely.
So, but, this deadline, we happy.
This might be the best deadline to ever see from the outside, because if I'm an NBA player, I don't know how I feel.
Yeah, exactly.
Always having to do all that. Before we get into anything, just got to shout out everyone listening on our Twitch. If you're watching, what up? Sports Extra Uncut. Follow us on all of our social medias, Twitch, Instagram, TikTok, and our YouTube. Besides YouTube, throw in that dash between WZIS-FM, but everywhere else, add WZIS-FM. We have a new little Twitch overlay. I, crafted up, made it in the workshop. Took me a lot of vigorous hours, a lot of manpower to get it in. But yeah, let us know what you think about it. We got a little QR code down there. I'm not gonna let you know. No, I'm not. I'm just kidding. When you scan that QR code, it does take you to the ISU Student Media website, where it brings you to all of our WZIS stuff, whether it be articles, interviews, playbacks, music, live. I mean, whatever's playing on the station right now is what's live there. And then it also can, connect to every student media, whether that be Sycamore Video, the newspaper, and so on. So, yeah, I just like it. And, yeah, let me know what you guys think. But anyway, Joseph, we're going to structure this episode out as planned. We're going to talk about your favorite thing in the world, one of my favorite topics to ever talk about, the NBA, the National Basketball Association. I know one thing in particular we're going to talk about that is some NBA Midseason Awards. You're going to throw out some trade rumors. Mm-hmm. And then after that, we're going to talk about what just happened this past weekend. A lot of fun. Ooh. Unless you're a player. The media was going at those zebras, those black and white referees.
Good Lord.
Man, oh man. So the AFC and the NFC championship game, as it will be the Kansas City Chiefs taking on the Philadelphia Eagles in the Super Bowl. But before we get anywhere near football, let's zone back in, Joe. Your favorite time of the year, basketball season. Here we are. It's like, what's your favorite season? Spring, summer, basketball season, football season, baseball season.
Any season where basketball being played is my favorite season. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So, I'm with it right now, right here. Again, this
that
is just
weird, awkward stage when there's no basketball, football, or baseball. Kind of freaks me out.
I hate it so much. It's so awful. But this is a really good time. Again, just because this is going to be the last kind of times where we have both basketball and football being played at the professional level. So, I'm just kind of taking it all in now, just enjoying it as a sports fan before it just gets taken away, and we have to wait months
as we should
to go see it. So so we just appreciating it right now. But one of my favorite things about the NBA is just player movement in general. So I'm really happy to talk about it here.
Oh, absolutely! I love seeing all those Woj bombs or the shams.
I love it,
and just all those trades where it'd be just seeing what I saw on my phone on Saturday with Miles Turner being signed to an extension to the Pacers. That had me all whoa, wait a minute.
Whoa,
did not expect that happening.
For sure.
I don't even think he did beginning of the year, let's be honest.
Exactly.
But yeah, man, let's do this. Do you want to? I think we should talk about the Midseason Awards, give those out to who we preferably think should be the winners of those in our opinion, and then we can throw it to some trade rumors from you. So let's do that as well. We're going to go in the order. I'm just going to, list them off. I think we should start off with one of my personal, but still I think it might be a very obvious award. It just depends on how, the rest of the season goes. The NBA Midseason Rookie of the Year Award. We talked about this a little bit on Sports Extra, 6 to 7 p.m. on Z90.7 WZIS every Monday.
Yep.
I believe that you said Paolo. I would love to see Benedict, and we talked about how well Benedict has been playing. But, phenomenal. I mean, yeah, Paolo Banchero. I mean, it's kind of hard not to give it to him.
Yeah, exactly. When you have a big that has the type of skill set that Paolo Banchero has, especially at a young age, it was crazy to me that they were thinking that Jabari Smith Jr. was going to be the first overall pick for the longest
Hear me out. Okay. Seeing Jabari Smith and the way he was in the tournament, there was just something about him and how the body style of an NBA player matters a lot. I mean, look at Giannis. True. I mean, look at LeBron. That's why they've been dominant for so long. Mm-hmm. I just really liked how his just the way he was looking, and I honestly thought he should have been the first, but now it's kind of obvious.
It's like, if you would have asked, even at the time where they thought Jabari Smith Jr. was going to be number one, if you ask the average NBA executive, they probably would say that, Paolo Banchero's the best player. But, fit-wise, NBA readiness-wise, you probably want to go Jabari Smith Jr., especially, you have a person like Jabari Smith Jr. who can shoot the ball, be able to defend a lot of positions. Even like this year alone, it hasn't been talked about a lot, but Jabari Smith Jr. is a really, really good individual defender.
I agree.
I saw
they just don't talk about it a whole lot.
Yeah, exactly. There was a game where he was just giving Giannis the business low-key. And, of course, doing that at 18, 19 years old, just amazing from that perspective. So it's definitely, he has a skill set to be a number one overall pick, but still, I just thought like Paolo Banchero is just by far just the best player, and it's not like there was a big fit issue with Jabari Smith Jr. coming in and then being the number one overall pick and going to Orlando because they just needed that position. They just needed the best available, and Paolo Banchero was the best available. And
a lot of people were like, Paolo, why would I remember I was kind of like, why would you draft him? Yeah. But then it really made a whole lot of sense after a couple of weeks.
And it makes and I 100% agree. But once we saw like the summer league and everything, it was just like clear that like just Paolo
he just looked good. Yeah, I mean he also has a good style of body and
exactly
his determination, his demeanor. He's really
good.
A lot of heads have been turned because of him. I mean, Orlando's still Orlando. I mean, we don't know how well they're gonna be.
Exactly.
They have a good team. Jalen Suggs. I've always been one, even when Markelle Fultz wasn't doing the best, I was always very promising on him, and I think he's finally turning it around a little bit. They have Bol. Like, this whole Magic team is weird, but young, but exciting, but not good at the same time.
Yeah, it's just like they're such a fun team to watch, but they're just... I don't know. They're just fun because they're young, they're fast. Franz Wagner is...
I didn't even mention
Yeah,
him.
exactly. I think he's going so under the radar this season about how he's improved as a scorer. I remember seeing a couple of clips of him in EuroLeague, and he was smoking them. And I was just like, yeah, he's about to have one of those years. And, like, he is. He's averaging, like, 20-some-odd points on super efficient shooting. Even, like, passing the ball-wise, he's just been really good on that. So he's just such a good offensive wing, to have on, like, an Orlando squad. Right now, the only thing that they're missing right now is just like a lockdown defender, on the perimeter. So like once they have that, which they kind of do with Jonathan Isaac, but Jonathan Isaac's just now coming back from being injured for like 3.5 years. So like you don't really know, but once they get that or he gets healthy, we're good. Yeah, it's insane.
The bubble,
insane.
I thought TJ Warren was bad.
Exactly.
Jonathan Isaac.
I don't know what happened, what the medical doctors are doing in the bubble, but they just set them back like years in their career, which is
I couldn't tell you. I could not.
Definitely wild.
One player I think that should be talked a little bit about in consideration and how well he's been playing with the number one, not even here all season, Jaden Ivey.
Jaden Ivey, he's he hasn't really like stepped into the type of offensive role that he probably should have.
Not yet, though.
Not yet. He's looked good. He's looked, kind of fluent in the way he moves on the NBA court. He's looked good. It just he hasn't like had the counting stats to really be there just yet. And he hasn't like kind of took that step in their rookie year that you were just expecting, because there was just a moment like Benedict Mathurin just had that moment where he was just like even though he started off really, really well, he just had that moment where he's just like, okay, now I just figured something out, boom, and then they're there. I wouldn't put it past Jaden Ivey to still have that type of like step rookie year where they just kind of like figure something out and then are able to kind of take that lead. But until that happens, I can't speak too highly or too low. He's just having a solid just rookie year, and these guys are still young. So
now if you're the Pacers and you have Well, let's just hypothetically say the Pacers have the chance now to draft either Benedict Mathurin or Jaden Ivey. They get a redo. The Pistons don't have that pick or something.
Yeah.
And they both are in their laps. Who do you still think they take Benedict?
That's a great question.
Or did they take? I like to still hope maybe Benedict, but I'm not gonna lie to you. When the Pistons came up and it said Ivy next to his name, I was extremely upset because I wanted him.
And I think he wanted to come to the Pacers as well.
Absolutely.
Since
Purdue
he has
legend.
Purdue, I believe his mother or something had, either played ball for the Fever or something like that. His mom had some Indiana connections.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I think she did something also up in Notre Dame.
Maybe.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I remember she had like a couple of Indiana connections. So it just kind of felt like he, and you have a lead guard next to you, and Tyrese Halliburton that is going to get you the ball and get you easy shots.
And one more thing, I think it's just very nice to just hear someone say, "I want to be an Indiana Pacer."
Exactly.
And
nobody
really
says that.
No.
But you know who also did? Benedict Mathurin did call up Tyrese Halliburton before the draft started, and he was like, man, I want to play for you. Of course, Tyrese Halliburton was like, that's all well and good, brother, but I'm not making that call.
I don't know, bro. Maybe we do, maybe we won't.
Exactly.
But now they do, and we're pretty hyped about it.
I would say I would go. I would like to think the Pacers still go with Benedict Mathurin.
I do too.
Even though I do feel like the ceiling wise, I feel like Jaden Ivey does have a higher ceiling still, but it's just like that type of mentality and skill set that Benedict Mathurin has at such a young age, being able to get to the free throw line and convert on these really tough lays.
I can't complain.
It's just like, you know what I mean? I think it's kind of like either way you go, I think you're going to be in a good situation if you're the Pacers. But Benny's the way.
I want to say from a fan side, you have to really look at it from no opinion based from fans. Statistically, the what he's doing on the court, no opinion based. Because obviously, if you ask an Indiana fan, they'll probably more than likely say Benedict.
Yeah.
But if you just say like an NBA expert, maybe the right pick would have been Jaden. But I like to hope maybe now Mathurin. And I still think we got the right one.
Yeah,
I'm not too upset about it.
I'm definitely not upset whatsoever for sure. But again, Paolo for ROY.
Oh, absolutely. Paolo, I think he's going to run away with it. Like I said, I still want to see Benedict. I still think he has a chance. But right now, it's pretty 75.
Facts.
80% Paolo.
For sure.
So, but yeah, let's go into the next one. I like to say NBA defensive defensive player of the year. That'd be a little. What is this? NFL?
NFL, exactly.
Not a whole lot of names that really come to mind besides just one in Triple J. I mean, I like to think maybe
it's pretty clear that it's going to be Jaren Jackson Jr. Bam, I don't think the Heat are a good enough team for the NBA, media to be like, okay, we can go Bam. Even though I think they're kind of itching to say Bam just because he's in a big market.
Has Allen done anything?
Jared Allen, he's been playing very well, but I feel like if they're gonna go Defensive Player of the Year for the Cavs, they might go more towards lean more towards Evan Mobley than Jared Allen, but still, it's kind of a toss up in the air. But I think the amount of blocks and steals that Jaren Jackson does, especially when you consider the amount of defensive personnel that. Well, I was about to say the Grizzlies don't have that type of defensive personnel around him, but still they do kind of have some guys. Dylan Brooks is a pretty good perimeter defender. Steve Adams is no chump in the paint. But yeah, I would say it's just Jaren Jackson. Again, they had that little controversy that was like, oh, they're inflating his numbers, blah blah blah. But I think that's been more or less not debunked, but refuted strongly over the last couple of days. So again, I'll just have to put it to him. He's just that type of defensive player. He's the new age defensive forward that you want to have for your NBA team. You don't want to have no immobile center like Rudy Gobert because there's obviously problems.
You're talking about a 3-time defensive player of the year.
Yeah,
right
but Rudy Gobert is Rudy Gobert. You know what I mean?
Is Rudy Gobert elite? Yes or no?
He's elite at what he does, but I don't think what he does now will put you in a conference title game or an NBA finals game. You know what I mean? I just don't think. I don't
think he's the kind of guy you want to lead your franchise with.
Exactly. I just think teams play him off of the court too much in the playoffs for me to be like, okay, this is the guy. But I just don't see a person like Jaren Jackson Jr. getting played off of the court in any type of series.
I mean, really no defensive player of the year. I mean, besides maybe Shaq. is going to win you championships. Like,
Word.
Now, when I say that, I mean from an offensive point of view.
Exactly.
Like, I mean, there's not really. Who was it last
Shaq,
year? Marcus Smart.
Giannis, obviously. Marcus Smart was the defensive player of the year last year. Yeah.
I don't even think he's up for Canada now.
He shouldn't be. The only reason he got it is just because the Celtics had a really good defense and they were the best defenders, so they just kind of gave it to him and stuff. But it's like, is it, Marcus Smart the best perimeter defender in the league at the guard position? No. That's obviously
like
Drew Holiday.
Or,
like every player, like especially like the elite ones. I'm talking about LeBron's, KD's, Jason Tatum's, Giannis. Like they all say that
Kawhi.
Kawhi. They all say that, the most, skilled defensive player in the, league at, a small position is just Drew Holiday. They've been saying that for years now.
It's what everyone says, and I couldn't imagine how he feels about that.
Exactly, and then Marcus Smart gets it. It's just like, it's whatever. But, I guess,
hey,
cool.
He can have that. Drew can have the ring.
Yeah, exactly. Facts. I'll take that trade off any day of the week. Any day of the week. Mm-hmm.
I think it's pretty unanimous. I think without some weird thing going on, I think Jaren Jackson Jr. runs away with the award.
Word. I agree.
Sixth man of the year. This is the kind of the one that we got into a little bit as well yesterday, because we said maybe it could be Benedict Mathurin.
Yeah.
He's on the list. It's just hard to see, and it's just hard to tell, because like Westbrook and the Lakers, he's kind of fallen off a little bit with all things considered. I mean, no one expected for him to do such a good job, let alone even want to do the sixth man, because we know how well Westbrook plays in the starting lineup, and he didn't want to run that way, but apparently he's not doing the worst in the way, but it's just not really picked up a whole lot. I mean, recency, I would have to say, someone maybe like Benedict Mathurin, or like maybe Jordan Poole, or I mean, Brogdon's not the worst option.
Obviously, yeah.
I think he's top two. I think you have to kind of give it to Westbrook.
I think they're gonna. Who do I want to win, and who do I think deserve to win are two different things.
Always.
Actually, in this case, I think it is gonna be the same thing, because I do think I think that Benedict Mathurin has been the best sixth player this year. Are they going to give it to him? I don't think so, because there's another, pretty, convincing six-man candidate in a bigger market, that's playing with one of the best players ever. That they're just going to give it to.
But they're not winning.
But they're not exactly. They're not really like
we're not winning either.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just like 50-50. Of course, like the Pacers aren't winning, but the Pacers don't have LeBron, an AD on their squad. So
true.
I don't. You know what I mean? So again, I do think they're probably going to give it to Westbrook. Do I think he deserves it? No, but I think they're just going to just give it to him because he plays for the Lakers. But Benedict Mathurin's been doing stuff off the bench that has just been amazing.
I think it'd be really cool if Brogdon won it.
It would be cool. I don't know. I feel like it would be lame, though. I just think Brogdon's just not like a flashy player, and he's just been doing what he's, should be doing on like a team that should be succeeding, which they have been. So it's just kind of.
But it also, I mean, who was it last year that won?
Sixth man of the year last. Who was the sixth man?
It wasn't Poole, right?
Sixth man.
Because Jordan Poole's name's also up for discussion here. I think that fits pretty well.
It was Tyler Hero.
That makes sense.
Tyler Hero.
Is he not up for discussion?
He's just been bad. So, and I think he's been starting a lot of the games this year, too.
That's true.
So, I think that's,
What's, like, the threshold for that? Do you know?
I think it's, like, I want to say 70% of your start. 70% of the games have to be coming off of the bench.
I did not know
I'm
that.
pretty sure it's 70%. So, like, So, yeah. So, even though Benedict Mathurin has been starting, a decent amount this year, once, not Tyler Hero, but Tyrese Halliburton comes back, he's just gonna be moved back on the bench.
You know how easy it'd be to like win sixth man of the year if you're like Luka, like just sit like the first 10 seconds and get up and go.
Exactly.
Is that actually legal?
I hope not.
I couldn't
hope
imagine.
Not. I don't think the media would let that slide. You know what I mean? Like a sixth man that gets 40 minutes and like only sits on the bench for like 2-3 possessions and gets back in. But yeah, I think like that might be on some 2K stuff where you can like force somebody to win the sixth man of the year. But nah, I definitely think that Benedict Mathurin should win it. But I think it's probably gonna go Russell.
I don't want to see Westbrook. They haven't been so good recently, man.
Yeah, it's just.
I'd rather see Jordan Poole. I think it'd be really cool.
Yeah, Jordan Poole or just somebody else, but like a big market. I'm always rooting for like the medium to small markets teams over the big market. The big markets are going to get plenty of run themselves.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna say who I think will win it. I think Poole will step up. I'm gonna go Poole.
Fair.
That will be it. Most improved player. I mentioned it before we went on.
Yep.
I think this one's pretty obvious.
Yeah, I think it's the marksman, Larry Markkinen.
I was not who I was gonna go.
What?
With.
Who are you gonna say? Who
do you think I was gonna say?
Like Tyrese Halliburton or something?
No. It's pretty obvious to me. I mean, this man's putting up MVP numbers.
Who are you talking about?
And All-Star numbers.
Who are you talking about?
Come on, dude.
Who are you talking about?
Shea.
Okay. But like, okay. I can see that.
Shea Gilgeous-Alexander.
Yeah, he's putting up numbers. He's putting up points.
You thought Lowry?
No. See, now, first of all, if we talking about what I think the most improved player award should be, it should be somebody who was like, a pretty much not non-factor, but like person that was like, riding the bench or was, reduced to a limited role, but had an opportunity.
Okay, then why did Ja Morant win it?
Exactly. That's the thing that made me mad about Ja Morant winning. Because we can't have a top, 3 overall player, kind of step into that role and, just kind of be what we, pretty much everybody knew he was going to be and then be most improved. Like, it just doesn't really make sense to me.
I know it doesn't make
sense,
but that they're improving. It's not the award for a person like who you didn't expect to be good all of a sudden become great. Because if that was the case, we'd give Geno Smith an award.
I couldn't, exactly. But like Geno Smith, that's a perfect NFL comp. That's something that should happen because like Geno Smith was pretty much out of the league for
True. If they had a most improved player in the NFL, it would be. But maybe come back.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So I'm just thinking I think Larry Markkinen because what he's done. If I want to bring up his stats right quick, what he's done for this, for this Jazz team, it's just been fantastic and it's been totally out of his element. Like he went from a person that was kind of seen as a person that could jump to this level with the Bulls, reduced to a role and just couldn't perform at that role outside of the system, and then going to
Cleveland.
Yeah, go to Cleveland to where he played pretty good, in his starting role when they run those 3 7-footers and everything. And then just back up to where we thought he was like 3-4 years ago.
True.
With the thing. So like he went from 14.8 points per game to 24.9. So that's like a 10-point difference, which is just amazing to me. And then you like look at Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, but what pick was he? Like
he was
18?
Like the 11th or 12th pick.
Yeah, okay, he was in the teams.
He was first drafted by Charlotte and then traded on draft night to the Clippers and then traded a year later for Paul George.
Yeah, and then like Shea hasn't been like he's definitely took a jump this year, but we kind of saw this from Shea. Just this person that averaged what?
He's averaging 32 or 31 right now.
Okay, yeah, he's averaged 25 points a game last year, and then this year he's jumped up to 31. So like I just think the difference in like
currently, I mean he was at 33.
Yeah, exactly. But like we kind of saw this type of talent in like the 2020 like season where he had that just okay, this is nice. He is nice for real. So if this were to happen with Shea Gilgeous-Alexander where he would win, I would think it would be like from his freshman to sophomore season or sophomore season to junior season in the NBA where he would jump up like another 10 to 5 points and then just continue to add on to his playmaking abilities and stuff. But I just think like we kind of knew Shea was going to be this. We saw plenty of flashes of it last year. I just don't know.
I don't know.
It depends.
You're trying to make the argument of like I did not expect this player.
Exactly.
But I feel like you don't need to expect or you should feel expected to see someone improve because every year someone's going to improve just because it's not a starter or a starting point guard. I mean, it's a Jazz team that was decent for the first 10 games and then it just fell off a cliff.
Man, but they fell off a cliff. I'm not going to lie. But still, it's just Larry Markkinen still put up really, really good numbers and looked like a player that, the Jazz could dang near build around when, last year we thought Larry Markkinen was going to be a role player for the rest of his career. A person that's, big, that can shoot off the bench maybe, or, slide into the starting lineup depending on who you have. It's just, I feel like, jumping from, limited role player to, building piece for a franchise is like a much more significant jump than, from a person who can be like, okay, this is a all NBA type of guy to an MVP type of guy. You know what I mean?
I get that.
It just feels like that type of, movement is just much more significant in my eyes than it is for, Shea and, Laurie. So that's just my opinion, though. Again, like you said, the Ja Morant thing, I feel like it messed up the, award for me. It's just like.
That's why that's why if they're going to do that, that's why I think they're going to go Shea.
Yeah, facts.
Should it be Shea? Depends on who you ask.
It really does. It really does depend. If you're like a most improved purist like myself, I feel like it should be Larry Markkinen. But if you're just like just give it to the most improved in terms of like just pure ability and pure talent wise, you should go Shea. But again, it just feels like I'm just a purist. I'm an old head.
What about Simons? Is he someone that no one really expected him? Especially coming off a limited role behind Dame.
I feel like that is he's going to make a case for a most improved player. I don't think it was this year just because the Trailblazers haven't really, succeeded very much.
Which I just still think they need to trade Dame.
Yeah, they
never will.
Yeah, but like once Dame is gone, like hopefully in the near future, and then like, Anthony Simons takes over, I think he's going to be like almost a lock for the most improved player, just because like what he does when Dame is not playing with him is just ridiculous. I mean, he averaged like 24, 25 points per game, with like 11 assists or something crazy when Damian Lillard was out for, a good chunk of last year.
True.
So, once once Dame, I'm sure, just gets out the way, traded, or what have you, I feel like he's just gonna have that jump. But yeah, I think he's really, really nice though. I think
if he would have just scratched out his 2021 season with his 2020 and 2022 seasons, that would have easily won a most improved player. Yeah, he's averaging almost 36 minutes a game. Mm-hmm. He's closing out games.
He's nice.
He's playing important roles. I mean, he's getting it done. He's had career highs in field goal percentage and all that, but 3-point percentage kind of took a little hit. It's just kind of hard to tell. I don't think he really necessarily. I mean, he's a fun name to think about, but really definitely not someone you're gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna give him this award.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Especially with his personnel around him.
And I also want to say Halliburton, just for real quick. I think Halliburton is not going to win it. One, he's injured.
I was about to say, yeah.
And two, I think he already proved a lot of people when he was first traded here to begin with a year ago.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, again, and I think it would probably be like the same case with, not the same case, but like, you know what I mean? Like, if Tyrese Halliburton continue with a scoring output a little bit more, I feel like he'd probably been a favorite and didn't get injured for sure. But yeah, again, Tyrese Halliburton definitely should. He still could make a case, honestly, if we're gonna keep it above. I feel like it's not too late.
Maybe.
I think if he just goes ballistic once he comes back from injury,
depends, dude.
It's just just Larry Markkinen just falls off a cliff. Again,
the Jazz already did.
Yeah, so he might be next. So there's a universe where that happens. It's not entirely out of the cards, but we will definitely see. And then who else was I going to add? Nicholas Claxton. Claxton should make a case. Not even only.
That'd be a good name.
Not only for defensive player of the year, but
he was on the list.
He was on the list. He was because Nicholas Claxton has actually improved significantly. I remember when I saw arguments between Brooklyn Nets fans and Pacers fans talking about Nicholas Claxton's better than Miles Turner, blah blah blah.
Whoa.
And then I was like, he was crazy. Now,
stop that.
After watching a good amount of after watching a good amount of Nets games, they still crazy, but not as crazy as they were, because he's just really good defensively. He really locking down the defense for this team.
You want to hear a very fun stat I saw on Instagram yesterday?
Shoot.
I don't know if you saw it, but obviously the Nets and the Lakers played.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it was last night, but it could have been a few days ago. But the last meeting between LeBron James and Kevin Durant was Christmas Day 2018.
I did see that.
Yeah.
I did remember seeing
Kevin
that.
Durant was still Warrior.
That's so dumb.
That was the last 11 times that there could have been a matchup between the two. They have one or neither, or both sat out, I meant.
Crazy. Okay,
I was I want to say a sophomore. I was just junior in high school. A junior in high school.
Yes, I was too. Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's insane.
I think the best thing that the league can do is starting to fine these players for missing these games.
They need
You know what I mean? Especially if they're not, like, significant injured. Like, don't fine them if they, like, snapped their leg in half, a week before and, obviously. But, I feel like if
I bought the tickets.
Load manage or, like, some BS, like, I have, back spasm and stuff, like, you didn't play for the last 2-3 days. Where are these back spasms coming from? You know what I mean? I feel like
it's
lot
very
of
hard
these,
to judge those as fake injuries.
Exactly. I feel like they definitely.
That's why you can really never find someone.
Exactly, and I feel like a lot of it's. Well, I mean, Kevin Durant has struggled with like actual like real injuries over the last couple of years, but still, it just feels like this is a matchup that we should see like at least like once every year, at least once, because these players are going to play at least 2 times. If they're East Coast, West Coast, and I don't think there was any overlap. There hasn't been any overlap with Kevin Durant and LeBron being in the same conference. But still, I just feel like there should be 100% like games where they play each other. But it sucks because like some of these fans are kind of getting like scammed out of tickets almost.
That's what I'm saying.
Because like they're like, oh, we could say LeBron and KD. They buy the tickets a month in advance, and then like, oh, LeBron James.
Who is Austin Reeves?
Yeah, exactly. I remember
Ben Simmons. That
there was a Pacers fan, not a Pacers fan. She was a Warriors fan that was in Indiana trying to watch Steph Curry play, and she had like a sign out that said this is my 3rd time trying to see the Warriors and the 3rd time that Steph has not played for the Indiana Pacers.
That's annoying.
And I'd be so mad. It's just like I'm
just going to Chicago. I'm going to Cleveland.
It's ridiculous.
He's got to play somewhere.
Exactly at this point.
I need to see this man live.
It's ridiculous. I just feel so bad, but it is what it is.
Exactly. But the 6th Man of the Year award, I think. I would like to say Shea. Mm-hmm. Or not 6th. Most improved.
Yeah.
I'd say Shea.
Fair. I'm going to go Laurie.
That's okay. We'll see. And then Coach of the Year. This is the second to last award. And we're obviously leaving the best one for last. If you would have asked me a month and a half ago, this 100% Willie Green for New Orleans. If you ask me. Because they were just the best team. But now they're injured. And Brandon Ingram and Zion Williamson. CJ hasn't really, shown out a whole lot. Mm-hmm. The rebounding is not quite there. So it's just a little worrying. So now you kind of have to be like, okay, who's the team? Who didn't have a whole lot of expectations for a team that didn't really do the best last year?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you could say Jack Vaughn from Brooklyn. You can say maybe Mike Brown. All things considered in Sacramento.
Yeah.
But I would also like to throw in, although the team is supposed to be good, you did not expect this name, and that is Joe Mazzulla. Is that how you pronounce it? Mazzulla? Mazzulla. Joe Mazzulla taking over.
Listen.
It's tough.
This is definitely tough for War because, like, normally it gives it to the team with the best record. And who is the best record right now? The Celtics are 36-15. I think it's the Celtics. The Celtics have the best record in the NBA. But I'm not sure they want to give it to him just because it's, this was really, what's his name? Got kicked out, suspended. Why am I? Ime Udoka. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, Udoka. Yeah.
Yeah. So like
where's he anywhere right now?
No, he's not. He's still suspended and stuff. He almost got picked up by the Brooklyn Nets.
I remember that.
I'm pretty sure Adam Silver probably like made a few phone calls and was like, y'all better not do that. So like
stop that right now.
Yeah, I swear. But yeah, it would have been crazy if he would have got hired. But still, I
thought he was.
I thought because they said they had a report. I believe Woj tweeted out that like it was almost set in stone that he was going to be the new head coach of the Brooklyn Nets and stuff. But I'm sure like somebody up top in the NBA somewhere said don't do that.
Get that out of here.
So, yeah, but I would say it's him, but, like, it would be Joe Mazzulla, but this is really Ime Udoka's team with their same schemes and everything, so I just can't really give it to him.
Hey, he doesn't use Quizlet.
Exactly. So, like, I'm sure, like, I could take, Ime Udoka's handbook and with these type of players, and then we still be successful. So, but, still you go through, a lot of the teams, the Bucks, but you still have Giannis, and this is a team that's supposed to be good, that's good.
What about Cleveland? Is it Bickerstaff still?
Who is the head coach for?
Because I know they had their head coach, he was, the Michigan head coach, and then he left after,
yeah.
Because, players did not like him or something.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure.
I want to say it's J.B. Bickerstaff.
It is, yes, it is J.B. Bickerstaff. Okay. Yeah, that's a good point too. It just it's hard. It's hard for me though. I do think if it wasn't for narrative, I think that Doc Rivers could be, the head coach for the 76ers. Could be.
Is he even on an option? I don't know.
Yeah, I think because what he's been able to keep this team afloat.
True.
While Joel Embiid's been injured for some time, James Harden has been injured for some time, and then if you just look at their last 20 some odd games, I think there's maybe 2 or 3 losses. So it just feels like this is a team that's even though they've had injuries, they had some type of mountain or obstacle that they had to climb with those injuries. I feel like this is a team that's been able to be carried by their coaching staff and the players they had. Even Tyrese Maxey, he's been out for some time as well too. So and then he moved him to the bench, and now Tyrese Maxey is going to be getting some nods for 6th Man of the Year here soon. So again, I just think that this is just really good. If it wasn't for Doc Rivers' history,
true,
I think if he was a new coach that came out of nowhere, came from some mid-market team and came to the 76ers and then started doing this, they would. But I think it's for narrative reasons. He's not going to be it. But honestly, I'm gonna pick him. I'm gonna pick Doc Rivers.
Who's number 1 in the West right now?
The Nuggets. Let me confirm.
You say Malone.
Yes.
You say Jenkins.
Mike Malone. You could go for
the Grizzlies.
Grizzlies head coach. That I could see that as well. I feel like those are probably really good options. It's just kind of hard. But one thing I do want to note just from the standings, shout out the Kings. 3rd in the West right now.
I was just saying that.
Killing it. I think they're 2, 3 games ahead of the Clippers right now in the 4th. So they're very solid in the 3rd. Shout out to them. Shout out Sabonis.
Well, they keep it. Maybe.
I hope so. I think they're
the beam.
Exactly. I think they're locked for the playoffs. I love it. And I feel so happy for the fans, man. I'm really glad for them.
Knicks fans can never.
Could never.
Nope.
Tragic.
I think if I had to give it to someone, I think I'd give Missoula.
That's fair. That's 100% fair.
I mean, I just like this. The Celtics seems good. The best team in the league.
Mm-hmm.
Can't really get much out of them,
exactly.
And they're pretty good. So.
Yeah, thanks.
Now, Joseph, the last order of business before we get into some trade rumors, the MVP award, the most valuable player. Ah, man, this one's so weird because it's because no one really thinks it could be Nikola Jokic. Nobody thinks it could be maybe Joel Embiid to an extent. I don't know. This one's really a toss-up. I think depending on the second half of the season, I'm going to stick with my gut. I'm going to go Luka. I think Luka has just, without a doubt, Luka is a game changer. Luka absolutely kills it. He just needs a little bit more help from Mark Cuban in that Dallas squad. I think he kind of could run away with it depending on how the trade deadline goes for his team.
It's a good pick. That's a good pick. And especially that trade deadline comment. They said that they're trying to trade for a star player with Dorian Finney-Smith. Trade Dorian Finney-Smith and maybe a pick or 2 for the star player. I don't know how that happens.
You don't want a ball handler. You don't want a ball handler. So you're thinking of a big man.
No, I think the opposite. I think you do want a ball handler.
You want another ball handler
because what Spencer Dinwiddie is doing for the squad. Next to Luka is just fantastic.
I feel like there's too many though.
I mean, yeah, you would think, but I just feel like Luka just plays such a unique style of game.
I think, hear me out.
You know what I mean?
I think a great option for this Dallas team with how Luka and how they already have Christian Wood and Spencer Dinwiddie, throw in John Collins. Jay Crowder, maybe no.
Depending on the price, I would love to have John Collins on the Mavericks. But I don't think
insane.
I don't think because imagine like these cuts and the Luka. He would make John Collins look like a
Trae Young wishes he could be Luka.
Exactly, I wish. I love how the Hawks have been trying to convince people that trade was equal. Anyway,
I know,
but it's just
let's be honest.
Stop it.
I like Trae, but it's not.
Stop it.
It's not 50-50. It's it's like 70-30.
It's like 90-10.
But Trae Young is good.
No, he's not.
Don't dog Trae Young.
I am dogging this dude.
What are you, a Knicks fan?
Hawks.
Are you crazy?
I might be, man. I might have.
What are you,
bruh.
Trae Young's not bad.
He's not bad. He's not a bad NBA.
He's like a top
NBA
5
player.
point guard.
No, crazy for that.
Better?
You crazy. You
Who's
crazy.
better?
Let me give Steph Curry, Ja Morant. Steph Curry, Ja Morant. Give me Kyrie over him.
No.
Give me
Kyrie.
Luka could be a considered point. Give me Dame over him.
No, not this year's Dame. No.
I'm saying.
Throw that watch away, Dame.
Man, oh man. But I'm just saying, like, dang near.
You're a hater.
I'll make a comment. You can call me crazy. I'll take Jalen Brunson over Trae Young. Man.
You're crazy.
I'm taking Jalen Brunson over Trae Young right now.
That's too far.
Man, keep the receipts, man. Keep the receipts.
Moving some furniture.
I'm about to say because it's just Trae Young. The way that he plays, the way that Trae Young plays, makes me so mad, and it does not lead to winning basketball.
Yes, it does.
Give me DeJounte Murray, on the same squad of Trae Young. Give me him over Trae Young. I feel like, and speaking of Luka Doncic, I think DeJounte Murray next to Luka Doncic will run the league for years. But, that's another comment. But still, I just feel like with Trae Young, the way that he plays, the foul baiting, the lack of, such a negative on defense, he's like a ball handling, he's like a pass-first ball hog. Like, he gets a bunch of assists, but he is not no dang playmaker. You cannot convince me each time I watch this man play.
Playmaker?
He's
Joseph Moore.
He's not.
What's your middle name?
DeLon.
Joseph DeLon Moore. You're telling me Trae Young is not a playmaker?
He's not.
January 21st versus the Hornets, 12 assists. January 23rd at the Bulls, 13 assists. January 25th at Thunder, 11 assists.
Okay.
January 28th versus Clippers,
10
assists. He put all above 20 to 35 points in them games.
That, the most recent game against the Blazers.
He didn't play because he was not playing.
Going against the Clippers, L. You got a 5-point victory over the Thunder. Going against the Bulls, L. Going against the Hornets, L.
But it's not
like
him.
I'm saying, it is him. It is him. It is him because he is not him. It is him because he is not him.
You're a hater of Trae Young.
He's garbage.
No, he is not.
Garbage, man. I mean, he's not garbage, but like he is boo-boo.
He's an all-star. Every year.
He's an all-star. He was an all-star. No. Here's the thing. He was an all-star starter. I remember when he had that breakout year. And then he was like a non-all-star the following year because the people in the NBA, because, when you add I think it's like 50% fan voting and then 25-25 media and player voting or media and coach and player voting, something like that. But I'm saying he wasn't a starter because coaches, players, media people noticed that Trae Young is not an actual, NBA player that's going to win you basketball games. An all-star is an NBA player that's going to be able to win you basketball games. He does not win you basketball games. He don't. Either at least right now this year. And I've had this feeling for a long time that it just feels like Trae Young just has not been able to actually pull out a lot of these, clutch wins, without having some other supporting cast or defensive just not being unable to just key in on him, period. You feel me? And I just feel like what he doesn't involve his own team. Either he has to score 50 points by himself and the other best player for the opponent team has a bad game, or, they're just not winning the game. I'm just keeping it a buck.
I'm going to do this. After this all goes on Twitch and on YouTube, we're going to put out a Twitter and an Instagram story poll.
Okay, go ahead.
We're going to put out Trae Young. Now, what should we question about Trae Young? How do you want to word that?
I don't want to say Jalen.
Is Trae Young
a winning NBA player? Is Trae Young winning NBA player?
I don't like that because I feel like just no one's going to say yes.
Yeah, exactly, because he's not. That's what I'm saying.
No, it's because you're going to take Jalen Brunson.
I would take him. Give me Jalen Brunson right now and what he's did for this next team.
How about this? Tell me one thing besides what exactly is it about Trae Young since his rookie year that has just skyrocketed? I mean, everyone was going this way, and then all of a sudden, oh man, he hasn't really performed well. Oh, he made the Eastern Conference Finals that one year, but he hasn't done this.
Because Trae Young comes from an era of basketball that was ruined by Steph Curry, and this is a big feeling that I have.
What's wrong with that?
He's in the same category. Trae Young's in the same category as LaMelo Ball with me. Because it just feels
Are you going to hate on LaMelo now?
Yes, I am. Oh! I always want to. No! Hey, listen. This is what it is. This is what it is. I'm saying that LaMelo Ball and Trae Young are from the era of basketball where you are drilled out to oblivion, to where you're going to shoot like 1,000 shots every day. Just try to post on social media, get your whole, likes, get your follows up, make sure there's people at the game, and, just kind of like sauce on some, like, high schoolers that just got out of pre-algebra and just, make this whole big scene on overtime. You know what I mean? I'm just saying that's the era that he comes from. They don't know how to actually win basketball games. And I would argue that Jalen Green might be in that category too, but it's too young. It's TBA on him just because he's so young. But,
You're just pretty much saying that all these guys are James Harden. You know that?
Okay. James Harden's a little bit different because
Why?
I do think because James Harden's a little bit different because if it wasn't for a historic meltdown on the Game 7 against the Warriors in 2018,
it's because they had no Chris Paul.
You know what I mean? And then without Chris Paul, James Harden has a few excuses for having a bad team.
Give Trae Young a James Harden or Chris Paul. Give him someone like that. There's not DeJounte Murray isn't that.
DeJounte Murray is not a very good player.
DeJounte Murray is not going to be the second best player on a championship team. He is at best going to be the fourth.
That's the only excuse. Okay, here's the thing. If he was an all-star starter and say, like, some random...
Is he an all-star? I don't know.
No.
DeJounte?
I don't think so. He should be.
You just
he definitely
said no.
should be. He should be. I thought you were talking about Trae Young. But I
think he will be.
I think he...
And you're going to bite your tongue because he's going to.
He's not. I feel like with Trae Young specifically... I feel like there's a bunch of guards.
You woke me up.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like there's a bunch of guards in the NBA that are better than Trae Young, that are winning basketball, that might not be able to put as many points up, may not have
point guards or shooting guards.
Point guards, shooting guards too. Like Trae Young, Trae Young is just like, he's the worst version. Like he's like the Bizarro from like the DC comics that are like Superman, but it's not really Superman because he's a fake and he's a fraud, and he's just not as powerful as Superman. He's like the Bizarro of Steph Curry. Like he's gonna make a little highlights to be like, oh wow, he's a short guard that can shoot very well, and then just but he's just not gonna win the games. He's not gonna win championships. He's not gonna be that.
Okay, I'm gonna throw names out there, and we're gonna see who we would rather have over Trae Young, Luka, Steph Curry, Steph Curry. Kyrie. I want Trae.
Crazy.
Damian Lillard.
Damn.
Give me Trae.
Crazy.
Honestly. Shea. I'll take Shea right now.
Okay, stop.
But if you ask me in a year, it's the height difference. It's the height difference of Shea.
Oh my God. Just continue. Oh Lord. Oh my God.
John Morant. Give me Ja. Jamal Murray. Give me Trae Young.
Jamal Murray.
If you put Trae Young on this Nuggets team,
okay,
I think they're way better. Oh, think about it. This isn't Bubble Murray anymore.
Okay, I'm gonna give it to Trae Young only because DeJounte Murray is having kind of down season. He's not having a bad season whatsoever, but he's just like since he's coming back from injury and he's still like he's ramping up a lot very recently. But like right now, I'll take Trae Young. But again, like if a healthy DeJounte Murray, not DeJounte Murray, but Jamal Murray, give me Jamal Murray.
Klay Thompson. Right now, give me Trae. Klay's had a down year.
Yeah, give me Trae. Klay Thompson is not him this year.
Darius Garland.
I
think that's a tough one.
It's not.
How is it not close?
It's not close.
Personally, I don't think Trae and Donovan Mitchell would work out.
Yeah.
So I think I'd have to take Darius Garland in that case.
Yeah, word.
But De'Aaron Fox, I would take Trae Young.
Yeah.
Mm. It's okay.
De'Aaron Fox. De'Aaron Fox. Oh, give me De'Aaron Fox.
Oh my God.
Give me De'Aaron Fox. Are you kidding me? De'Aaron Fox is third in the West right now.
All right.
Third in the West right now, and he's playing out of his mind. He's playing with a really good player in DeMontis.
All right, that's another one. Maybe.
Give me them. I mean, I can see it's close. I definitely will agree it's close. But
all right, this is according to HoopsHype.com, and we're just gonna go from the top 25 guards, and we're gonna say Trae Young better or worse. Kyle Lowry, Trae Young.
I really want to say
Josh Giddey, Trae Young.
Yeah.
D'Angelo Russell. However, he's turned up a little bit, but it's still not him. Trae Young. Russell Westbrook, Trae Young. Zach LaVine. Trae Young.
He's coming back from injury, so I'll give it to Trae Young. But a normal Zach LaVine year, give me Zach LaVine.
Marcus Smart, Trae Young.
Marcus Smart.
Yeah,
Trae Young. Yeah.
Now you said Jalen Brunson. Are you pretty sure about that?
Yes, I'm sure.
That's
my feet are in the
bro.
dirt
He's averaging like less than 10 points a game.
No, he's not. No.
Joe,
no. Compared to him,
yeah.
I mean, yes, but like, where are the Knicks right now? And where are the Hawks in the standings right now?
I mean, look at what are we doing?
The Knicks and Hawks, they're right next to each other, but still,
we're talking about players.
The Knicks are 100%.
Teams.
No. I'm saying team success, especially when you're at the point guard position, is most dictated by the point guard position.
And you say,
like, so
and you're gonna.
I'm gonna give me Jalen Brunson. A player that's been to the was at the Western Conference Finals, playing next to Yuka, and almost won and went to the like. Come on now, I'm just saying
this one's gonna hurt. Tyrese Halliburton.
Give me Tyrese freaking Halliburton over Trae Young right now. Give it to me. Give it to me.
Me like
you.
Don't
make me come over. Don't make me come over there. Do not make me come over there. Don't do it. Do not do it. Don't do it. Don't you dare. Coby Emmanuel Clark. I don't know your middle name.
When Tyrese Halliburton gets to the playoffs,
okay,
I'll change my mind. But right now, I'm gonna go Trae.
I ought to leave. Okay.
Ben Simmons. I don't even know why I said him.
Trey.
I just threw him. Cade Cunningham. No.
Trae.
Fred VanVleet.
Trae.
We already said him. LaMelo. Doesn't really matter. It's kind of the same player.
Yeah.
Drew Holiday. Trae. I don't care about defense. Not enough like that.
Yeah.
That's pretty much where we're at.
Yeah.
And according to this list, James Harden. I'm taking Trae Young.
Yeah.
I think Chris Paul, definitely Trae Young. I mean, Damian Lillard, I'm taking Trae Young. Trae Young's fourth on this list. Yeah. The only people above him are Ja, Steph,
and
Luka, which I don't know why. I don't think Luka should be.
To Trae Young's credit, he is playing in a very new scheme this year. He's playing with a head coach that doesn't really play to his strengths.
That's another thing.
Those are two things.
We talked about that.
But still, if you claim to be a top, whatever point guard in the league, you should be able to adapt your game to where you should play, especially when we're at the midway point in the season. You have almost, over 40 games under your belt at this point with this squad, plus a training camp, because it's not like DeJounte Murray was traded at right before the season started.
Yeah.
So all I'm saying is, no matter what the coaching situation is, I feel like this is a time where you need to actually step up and be like, okay, we gonna force some wins. We gonna force some wins.
Okay, but I don't know why we say this player a lot, but another NFL thing, Geno Smith. Look at how systems matter in sports.
I feel like Geno Smith, systems do matter in sports. However, I do think this was kind of the case. The only reason that I'm so hard on Trae Young now is because it was like Trae Young was this all-star starter, consecutive years, and, was just this player. And then, immediately he just kind of, just fell off the face of the earth, or because of a new scheme or whatever. What I'm saying is with Trae Young specifically, this is a player that, does not have the respect of, I feel like, the people in his locker room. I don't think he has the respect of the coach. I don't think he has the respect of the front office. I don't think he has the respect of other players that he plays against or with.
Is that a Trae Young problem?
That's a Trae Young.
Or is that an Atlanta Hawks problem because they're not giving him what he needs to work around with?
If I go to my father and I'm like, Father, what do you think of me? Oh, I don't really like you like that. I go to my mama and she's like, yeah, I don't really mess with you like that. I go to, my friend and be like, yeah, dog, if it wasn't for your money, I wouldn't be, friends with you. If I go to my boss and she's like, I really ought to fire you tomorrow. I'm just saying, just all these little things are starting to add up, especially and then you just kind of look at the results on the court and stuff like that. It's just not good. It's just not good. You shouldn't be chucking up all these threes. You shouldn't be, just kind of passing it at the end of the game just to get your box score up.
You just had 5 double-doubles in a row, Joe.
Listen, he can put up stats.
In a row.
He a hooper. Don't get me wrong, but he's a hooper that's just going to, lose you some games if he's your franchise player. You know what I mean? Okay. You don't have a good franchise team if Trae Young is your franchise player.
I mean, look at the Niners. They were on their 4th-string quarterback. And I think they probably could have maybe did something if it wasn't for that great defense against the Eagles.
Listen.
Look how good they were.
Listen. Trae Young averaged 25 points, 9.4 assists in his 2020-2021 season. Right. Played 63 games.
2021?
2021, yes.
Okay.
Was not an all-star. Why? Why?
There's probably better candidates that year.
Why?
I couldn't think.
All I'm saying is,
he might have also been
not
injured.
adding up.
I think he was hurt.
And also, you have to think of, like, you even look at true shooting. You know what I mean? This first All-Star year, his true shooting was about 52%. Not terrible. Not terrible. Still a little on the low side, but not the worst thing in the world. And then true shooting, that it drops below 50%. The year that he wasn't, there.
Oh.
And then then you go to this year where he has the worst true shooting percentage of his career, or matched with his rookie year, at 48%.
But I think he's having the more pressure on him to perform. And, I mean, Dejounte Murray is not an offensive player. His other running mate is on the trading block, not playing.
Yeah.
Clint Capella is your center. They're not giving him anything.
Clint Capella's been injured, to his credit. But still, like, Clint Capella can play. Like, he was untouchable to this Hawks team for a minute. Right? Like, I think a year and a half, 2 years after he said, literally the front office said, you can, talk to me about anybody except for Clint Capella and Trae Young. I don't think it's Clint Capella. I don't think it's John Collins. You know what I mean? You can argue that's the head coach. I think he should have been fired, because Hawks fans were trying to say that, thanks Pacers for Nate McMillan. Nate McMillan, he's such a good coach. Why y'all get rid of him? Y'all just wanted the excuse. Y'all just wanted a scapegoat. Now look at them. They are screaming at the top of their lungs on the highest hill in the land.
Okay.
Get rid of Nate McMillan. I'm just saying, you can blame it on Nate McMillan. That's fair. But again, if you were a top whatever point guard in the league, you should be able to overcome that. And, at least, especially, even though the East is pretty hard, to his credit, you should at least be a clear lock out of the play-in. You should be like a 6 seed if Trae Young thinks he's him with the personnel. Like, DeJounte Murray ain't no scrub. John Collins ain't no scrub. Clint Capella not no scrub. DeAndre Hunter ain't no scrub. You know what I mean? They have guys. I just don't see it with Trae Young.
I also think the East is way harder than the West.
It is, and that's fair. But still, like, look at the teams underneath.
I mean, they're still they're 8th.
Yeah,
that's not awful.
They're best of the worst. Good job. You
don't get
busted.
Bulls.
No, you're the best of the worst. You are the best of the worst.
I mean,
you know what I mean? Look at the teams under them.
This Hawks team would not, in a 7-game series, would not beat Boston, not Milwaukee, not beat Philly, Brooklyn, Cleveland. They might have a chance against Miami. And I know for a fact he will beat New York if there was a 7-game series with them.
Okay, for me.
And Washington.
I don't see the Hawks beating anybody above them in the standings right now.
You're absolutely...
Not a single one. Not a single one. Not a single one. Based on how they're playing right now, not a single one.
I mean, look at Miami.
Could not see it.
They haven't been turned. They haven't been that good.
But Miami gonna chump Trae Young. Are you kidding me? Like, Jimmy Butler say that he's healthy. Let's assume that he's healthy. Is locking up Trae Young. You know what I mean? And then, like, they're gonna have to go to DeJounte Murray to actually, like, stimulate some offense. Where that may or may not turn out based on just how DeJounte Murray is. But still, I just feel like Trae Young is just gonna be such a negative on the defensive side.
Okay, why the Wizards winning 6 in a row though? Turn up.
Hey, shout out Kuz. Kuzma's been killing it.
Pacers on a 3-game losing streak.
But yeah, so it's just
it's the largest in the East.
Yeah, the Pacers is butt right now without Tyrese. They're 1-9 in their last 10.
Wow. Oh, hey, we're not the Pelicans.
Exactly. But yeah,
Spurs, but they're tanking for victory.
But yeah, so like again, I just feel like the Hawks. Good job. You're better than the Wizards, who are always consecutively or average at best. And you go against the Bulls, who have been injured throughout, and they've just been playing bad basketball with nobody to defend. You go against the Pacers, that who were thought to be like a 20-win team at the beginning of the season, and so that lost their best player. Good job. The Raptors playing like terrible.
You know what?
The Magic.
If
you
want to give Trae Young so much crap, why don't we give Karl Anthony Towns crap? Because he deserves it too.
He deserves some talk, but still, Karl Anthony Towns has improved, and they're coming off of a really, really high year, and still,
where are they at now though?
Right now, hey, listen, look at the Timberwolves are like 9th in the East. West. They're not playing bad. You could give Karl Anthony Towns some criticism for sure, but like before this,
you should probably give Ant some criticism too.
No.
At this point, I mean, look what other players were doing. Look at the former number 1 overall picks. What were they doing in their third seasons?
Good comparison. I'll give you that. But at the same time, Anthony Edwards and Trae Young.
And none of them had a great center like Cat.
Exactly. Listen, all I'm saying is that the Hawks should be better than what they are.
Okay.
Anthony Edwards is playing phenomenal basketball. I think he's averaging like 27 in the last like month.
Trae Young's doing that too.
Exactly. He's averaging that, but he's not being a negative on defense. He's not humming and hawing. The Timberwolves have been playing really good basketball over the last month or so. They've kind of like had to adjust to having Rudy Gobert, which is not like a person that you just easily like kind of click around. You definitely have to kind of play around him and understand his tendencies to actually get the best out of a squad with Rudy Gobert. And you can't really have that same argument with DeJounte Murray, because DeJounte Murray, he's a much more fluid player. Like, we're talking about basically a wing who can, shoot, defend, and pass the ball, much more versatile. But, Trae Young's pretty much lack of versatility sometimes just puts him in that barrel just because, like, he's kind of like, Trae Young is kind of like Rudy Gobert on offense. I would argue that. He's like Rudy Gobert on offense. He's like an offensive. No. Listen. Rudy Gobert is such, his defense and his style and the way that he plays sometimes plays him off the court. He's elite at that one thing on the defensive side of the ball, but everything else when it comes to around him sometimes plays him off the court. And you just can't play him. It feels like the same way with Trae Young, but on the offensive side of the ball, to where Trae Young is such a good, offensive player when it comes to like, shooting and, being able to be like kind of like shifty a little bit on the offensive side of the ball. But since, his lack of really making teammates around him better at the point guard position is so like, prominent, and sometimes in the, in this offense that's run through him, that, that he just feels like he can't really play him, because it's like, okay, Trae Young, you might, hit your, 35, 40-footer. Good job. You're hitting logos on people. But, are you actually contributing to a win on the court? Are you making Hunter better? Are you making, they traded away Cam Reddish because, like, listen, you're not going to get the ball with Trae Young. You know what I mean? You might get the ball, but it might be on the wing, and you're not going to be able to play your game on a fluid way. Hunter, he's been up and down, but he's on the upside right now. And I feel like if you trade Hunter to any other squad, I feel like you're going to get much more out of him with any other point guard in the league, pretty much, except for Trae Young. You know what I mean? I just feel like he's just a black hole sometimes on the offensive side of the ball.
That's crazy.
That's all I'm saying.
Okay. I don't know how we just got on. We talked like for 25
minutes.
Hey,
it was a good conversation, but you know what I mean? Like, listen,
that's an IBS
you can
submission.
call me crazy. You can call me crazy, and that's fair. And that's fair, and I understand.
I think we both made good points.
But, like, yeah, exactly. You made some good points. I made some good points. But I'm just saying, at the end of the day, if you're a point guard who, is, has this type of history and lacks respect from your peers on the NBA court, whether they're on your team or not, and lacks respect from the media, I feel like those are two things, because you know how many times players and media disagree? I feel like those are the two disagreements in the biggest, in the world of in the world of the NBA. The media and the players, and for them both to agree that they don't like you and they don't think that you're an all-star, I feel like that speaks volumes to who you are as a player and a person.
You might be the number one Trae Young hater, and I might be the number one Trae Young lover, I guess.
I'll take it.
I like Trae's
I'll wear it
game.
as a badge of honor, honestly.
So.
Foolish.
We didn't even get to NFL. We didn't even say who we were going to have the MVP.
Okay, fair. Okay.
MVP?
We can make that clear. Yep.
Oh, Luka. I said Luka.
Joel Embiid. Okay. I'm going to say Joel Embiid. And that's going to be crazy because he's probably going to be like the first MVP in my world on how this is going to shake up. I think he's going to be the first MVP that's probably not a starter.
True.
In the
that's actually insane.
Which is crazy.
Why didn't he? Who's over him?
I think it's, what is it? It's Jason Tatum, Giannis, and KD. I think those are over him. I think they have Giannis at the center position.
Not fair.
Yeah, so I mean,
he doesn't play center.
That's fair. Yeah. I think it's like, I don't think it's like a center. I don't think it's center. I think it's more like forward. So like, since a center is a forward, technically, I think they did like that. I think it's dumb. I think
NBA's positionless, I guess.
But yeah, it kind of is.
Just throw the 5 best in there. Yeah. I don't care if they're all Trae Youngs or if they're all Kevin Durant size.
Should Nikola Jokic win the MVP? Probably.
That'd be boring.
But I don't think they're going to give him a 3 straight. If they didn't give LeBron 3 straight, they're not going to give Nikola Jokic.
That'd be insane.
That would be
if
insane.
they didn't give Curry 3 straight.
Yeah.
Or LeBron.
And they give it to Nikola Jokic.
Who was the last winner of 3 straight? Was it Shaq?
I think Jordan. I think that was the biggest thing with, when LeBron was, contending for 3 straight. They didn't want to put him over Jordan or whatever, put him on the same thing. Yeah, that was media.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think it's only fair because our last episode, unfortunately, I didn't really bring this up, but we didn't have a last week episode because we were having a meeting and stuff here done at the station. We're very busy.
And then plus snow, too, because we planned on, getting it Wednesday and then we were snow day. So.
Yeah, and a snow day also. Yeah. The university was closed. But I think it's only fair because the episode before this, we were supposed to talk about NBA and we didn't talk about NFL.
Yep.
So I think it's only fair we talk about the NBA and not the NFL this time.
Word.
However, I do just want to say a quick thing. I think the 49ers are so funny. I think the referees definitely helped them out. Not them out, but I think the referees definitely helped out the Chiefs. I think this Chiefs-Eagles Super Bowl is going to be the most boring Super Bowl in a while. Wow. I would have loved to see the Eagles versus the Bengals, in my opinion. I think it's just great because I've never liked the Niners, and I think it's just nice seeing them. I don't necessarily like Philly fans, but I do like A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts. I don't know. Chiefs, they've already done their thing. I really wanted to see Joe Burrow, but unfortunately we'll have to wait another day.
Yeah, exactly. I wanted to see the Bills or the Bengals in the Super Bowl, and I got
not the Chiefs. And we got the 2 number 1 seeds, which
again boring.
I guess bit. I don't want the Eagles to win, but I guess give it to them.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Go crazy.
Maybe the Chiefs. We'll talk more in depth about that Super Bowl matchup next week.
For sure.
And hopefully by then Joe will come to his common sense and notice that Trae Young's actually a decent point guard.
Never.
We're gonna put a poll out.
Please.
You're gonna vote on that poll. We're gonna put it both on our Twitter and our Instagram at WZIS-FM. Please let us know what you think.
Please.
And if you have your own opinion about Trae Young, tweet us. Victor_Voodoo, the Coby Clark on Twitter.
Yep.
Got any more last thoughts, Joe? Man, that's a good episode. Even though we almost wanted to kill each other, it was still a lot of fun. I always have great. That was probably the most heated debate we've had.
Yeah,
we don't necessarily have debates. We just
exactly.
we're more neutral ground. But I think Trae Young just brought the inside out of me.
Man, oh man, yeah, exactly. Shout out, every point guard in the NBA except for Trae Young. Shout out to him.
Shout out to Trae Young. Shout out to LaMelo Ball. If you're a ball handling point guard, it's not your fault that your team can't help you.
It's not your fault. Do not listen.
Keep doing your thing. Joe, go Pacers.
Go Pacers.
Until next time, everybody, stay tuned. Have a great rest of your week. Stay safe. For Joseph the Lawnmower, I've been the Coby Clark. Peace out, guys.